Hey everybody, it's Steven GetMoneyMyrick here, and today I'm going to be telling you every single thing I know about the guild settlement. It's only the second day of the guild settlement being out, and I just wanted to give you as much information as I possibly could, my thoughts on what to expect from it, things you should be doing. Before I get into a ton of details, there is one thing I wanted to say though, which is that this event I believe is going to take a very, very long time to complete. I don't want anybody stressing out that they're going to make mistakes in the first day. Yes, it's possible that if you super min-max that maybe you're going to get some levels a little bit earlier on and get like 50 more guild coins a day. But if you're stressed out, don't be too worried. It's pretty simple and straightforward, and it's pretty hard to screw up as long as you follow some simple tips. I did want to say real quick, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I'm getting very close to 1,000 subscribers, and it'd be super sweet if we could hit that. This video is going to be a mix of screenshots from yesterday as well as action from the second day of the guild settlement, so we can kind of look at how things have changed, what to expect, and all that great fun stuff that you come to my channel for. So I wanted to start by reviewing this chart because it's really the basis for every discussion we're going to have from here on out. This chart is showing how much reputation you get depending on the star level of the hero you put into your settlements. And the first column here, this get reputation, is how much you will get in that settlement for putting in this level of a hero. So if you put in an E5 hero into the settlement, you will get 4,080 experience. On top of that, sending an E5 hero will get your guild 136 experience within that particular settlement. Okay, so this is like, obviously if you have E5s, you get more and you get more to your guild. So when you can put E5s, you want to be putting E5s, and you can see there is a dramatic difference between an E5 and, you know, a 6-star and how much experience you're getting for yourself as well as your guild. So prioritizing E5s is huge. Also, as of right now, you know, void imprints do not give any extra experience or reputation. So don't worry about doing a V1, V2, V3. Maybe with time that'll change. I doubt it. But for right now, don't even worry about that. Now, navigating within the guild settlement, you can see that this is the second day, and you can see one of my settlements is now at neutral. We moved it from indifferent to neutral. And if I was to do a settlement quest on this base, where I click on this button, it will tell me what the requirements are and how many guild coins I get, as well as guild solidus I get if I do that base. So one thing to be aware of is that this value changes as you level up your bases. You can see an indifferent one, it only gives you 100 guild coins and only 1,600 solidus. So having a higher base will give you more solidus each day when you're deploying on these settlement quests, which is pretty interesting to know. One other thing I want to cover in this information is you can see at the bottom here, it says the more stars your heroes have, the more reputation you get, right? And we talked about this chart and how the more stars it has, the more reputation you get. But the in brackets underneath is going to be very important later on. It's not important right now if you have E5s, but as you level up your bases more and more, the requirements are going to start requiring more heroes. And you can see it says if there are multiple heroes, the reputation earned is based on the hero with the fewest stars. So Jimmy Bay uploaded a video a couple days ago at the guild settlement, and once your bases reach friendly, you're going to have to start putting in 2 heroes that meet those requirements. And what that means, if you put in a E5 hero, and you have to put in 2 heroes, right? If you put in an E5 hero, but then you put in a 5-star hero, you are only going to be getting 300 reputation at that base. Okay, it doesn't matter that you're putting in an E5, it doesn't add them together. Like, you will only be getting the reputation for 300, which means as these settlement levels get higher, you're going to actually be probably earning less experience unless you have multiple E5s of that faction. So if you've been playing a while, you may have multiple dark E5s, and so you may be able to level up that one quickly. But it's very unlikely that you have multiple Abyss E5s or multiple Warrior E5s, and so those ones are going to be more difficult to level up as time goes on. So I keep talking about reputation, I keep talking about experience, I'll use those terms interchangeably, but you know, what is it exactly? Well, the reputation determines the level of your settlement. So you can see that on this High Heaven one, I have 5952 reputation, and in all the other ones, there's a lower amount. And that's because yesterday I chose to put a E5 hero into the High Heaven settlement, so I got that 4,080 experience, and then I also got a boost from my guildmates putting in reputation boosting 136 here, so that I was able to reach 5,000 on the settlement. But you can see some of my guildmates, maybe, you know, 2 of them here, it looks like, put heroes into dark because they wanted to put it there. But you can tell that even though if you add in this 4,080 they were not able to unlock their neutral base in this. And what this effectively means is after one day, I'm getting 62 guild coins an hour and they're still getting 60. Now, very soon here, other guild members will start to deploy within Dark and they will reach that, or they could deploy a second time in Dark today and, hit that goal. But I wouldn't recommend that first and foremost, but that is a way they'll get it. And so, yes, in the short term, these people are technically earning less guild coins than me. But in the long term, at 62 an hour versus 60 an hour, you're talking about 48 a day. For the first few days here, it's possible you may miss out on like 200 guild coins. And it's really just not that big of a deal. And it's really not worth stressing out about. Again, one thing that you really shouldn't stress out about, but does come into play like very early on here, just because we're leveling up the bases quicker, is that when you hit 5,000 experience, when you hit 5,000 reputation on a settlement, you actually will not earn any more reputation when you hit that level. So even if other people are, so in this situation it was High Heaven, right? And I maxed out 5,000. Even if other guild members are putting in heroes into High Heaven, I'm not getting that 136 extra bonus points. So once you hit 5,000, you really want to go ahead and knock out that Ascension quest so that if anybody else throughout the day adds heroes into that base, you're going to be getting that extra XP boost. Again, it's only really coming to play right now because we're leveling them up so quickly and there's so many of them. As the experience requirements increase so much and as you're earning less experience a day, it's really not going to be as big of a deal. And when you're losing, a couple hundred out of a couple, 100,000, maybe a million XP that we need, it's really not the end of the world, but it's just something that you should try and prioritize. So as an example here, you can see that I screwed up yesterday because I basically hit 5,000 pretty early on and then I went to sleep. And when I woke up to the screen. And you can see that all these other guildmates of mine put into High Heaven. And because it's saying max reputation reach, that means I'm actually not getting those 136 bonus XP. So when you add all up together, I lost 1,000 XP on this base. So it's not going to be the end of the world, but ideally, you would try and get that Ascension quest done in time. You can also see here, that everybody was putting in E5, so they're getting 136. There may be one player here. One of my guildmates did not put in E5, which is a mistake. That you can see they got 22 reputation. So my account's powerful enough, my guild's powerful enough that everybody should be putting in E5s right now. So that was a mistake. It's the first day, mistakes happen. But just something to be aware of, that when you hit that max, you can't get any more afterward. So based on what I just said, you can see that the Transcendence base is right at 1,000, which means I can pretty much maximize what I'm doing today by putting in a Transcendence hero here, because I'm going to hit almost right at a 5,000. It's going to boost me up where I'm getting, 64 an hour by moving this to neutral. Okay, and it gives me a good opportunity to show you all how the Ascension quest works. So basically you get bonus rewards as you're doing the quest. You'll get some extra guild coins, and you'll get some extra guild solidus, and you'll have resources that you can put in. And this base, Transcendence base, is going to get pretty tough here pretty soon after you get past neutral, because once it starts requiring 2, there's only be so many accounts in the world that can actually deal with it, which is something to keep in mind. But you can see I'm at 5,000, 2,000 now, and if any other guildmates put stuff in here, I will be getting extra reputation rewards from it. Same with High Heaven, and I'm not maxed at anything right now, so that's something to be careful of. So I moved my body around so you can see this bottom left corner. You can see my reserves at 744 out of 10,000. Basically, you accumulate these guild coins with time, and you can see I went up from 62 to 64. And all you have to do is click this button, and that will empty your reserves. So obviously, just every once in a while, you need to come in and make sure you're emptying reserves, because it will max out at 10,000. So it keeps you logging in. Make sure that you keep coming into the game to collect those. So when this mode was first released, a lot of guilds and a lot of people were thinking that the best thing to do is really concentrate heavily on one settlement at a time and knock it out. Get your level as high as possible, get these extra rewards. But the more I think about it and the more we do it, you can see that the output per hour increases linearly as you level up the bases, okay? But the XP requirements do not increase linearly. I do not know what the XP requirements are, but I do know that the first one is 5,000 and the next one is 20,000. And I was thinking maybe the next one's 80,000, it's multiplying by 4. But I did see in Jimmy Bay's video, again, thank you, Jimmy Bay, that the next one is 50,000. So it went up, 15,000, and then it went up 20,000. So potentially, you're looking at like, 5,000, 20,000, 50,000, 90,000, 125,000, 175,000 experience. Okay. And when you start out, you're thinking, okay, well, 8,000 experience a day because I get the 4,000 from my own, and then I get about 4,000 experience overall from my guildmates boosting me up. But like I said, when you take into consideration that multiple hero situation, now all of a sudden you're going to start getting like 600 experience, because if you only have an E5 and then you also have a 8-star hero, which is what Jimmy showed in his shadow thing, like he only got 600 points for that. You don't get the full 4,000. So it's going to have higher XP requirements while you're getting less XP. A lot of people are asking, when does this reset? When do these go back to normal and I can get these rewards again? These do not reset. This mode is meant to take a very long time. And while I don't know what the actual XP requirements are, you could be potentially looking at years in order to max all these bases out. So just putting that out there, obviously once we know the exact XP requirements, we'll have a much better idea. Once we know how many heroes the final levels require, we'll also have a better idea. But it's going to take you an extremely long time, which is why it's not really worth stressing out, which one, min-maxing very early on, because this is going to take an extremely, extremely long time. So since the XP requirements get harder and harder per level, and since the rewards you get, these guild coins, which are in a way maybe the most valuable resource you can be getting, increase linearly, I highly, highly recommend right now, based on what I know, that you be spreading your heroes out each day. That you work on getting all of your bases up to friendly first. So obviously start by working them all to neutral, and then work by spreading them all to friendly. And as long as everybody in your guild is doing that, you'll all kind of hit that level all around the same time. They'll be boosting some stuff for you. You may lose experience in some, where it's at 3,000 out of 5,000 and you have to throw in a 4,000, so you lose 2,000 experience. But you definitely want to just get them knocked out, start getting your output higher and higher and higher, and really plan on playing the long game with this mode. There were a few other things I wanted to cover if you were a guild official or a guild leader. One is that it will tell you at the top of the screen here how much support you've received. Obviously, if you look up here in your reset and you've got 30 out of 30 every day, you don't really have to do much. But if you don't, you're going to have to unfortunately go through the list and figure out who has not been doing their dues, who's not paying their guild dues, and go through the list. I do wish that on the interface here, where they show who's put in their heroes for the day, if they sign for Guild War, it'd be nice if they added another icon saying that they've deployed for the day in Guild Settlement. That would be very, very helpful, so that it's very obvious to you as a leader who has done it and who hasn't done it. You also want to be encouraging your guildmates to use as many E5s as they can. If there's a base where they can put 2 E5s once they hit that friendly level, encourage them to work on that base. If there's somebody maybe that has 2 warriors, when not everybody else has 2 warriors, you can encourage them to work on that base. But again, I think like that micromanaging really is not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. So that's my other advice to guild leaders is don't get too stressed about it by trying to say, you 3 people do this one, you 3 people do this one, you 3 people do this one, just because the amount of XP you're getting, individually is going to really, dictate where you put your resources. And that extra little boost, as long as you're not maxed out, your guild is going to be earning stuff for you. So they'll be helping you out either way. Yes, there is some min-maxing in the very first week here where you could potentially, instead of taking 12 days, you might be able to knock them out in 10 days or something. But it's just not really worth it for an extra 100 guild coins to have the stress in your life. So yeah, that's everything I know about guild settlement right now. I really just want to get all my thoughts out there, share every piece of information I have, all the thoughts I've been having within our guild about what the best strategies are and what you should be doing. I really wanted to make people feel more confident in what they were doing, that they're not screwing up. Basically, as long as you're putting an E5 hero, if you have one, great. If you don't have an E5, just put the highest hero you have, and that will help your guild, as much as possible by getting as many points and getting that reputation boost for your guildmates. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. Once we get more information about, the XP requirements, we'll have a much better idea of how long this mode is going to take. But right now, my first guess is it's well over a year to do all 12 of these, and it could be multiple years, honestly, to max these all out. So it's definitely playing for the long game. The other thing I want to say is, we don't get any gold for this mode. They took away the mill from us, which did give some amount of gold. And this mode, to my knowledge, does not give you any gold, and that sucks. Gold is very hard to come by in the late game with how expensive it is to level up food and level up your pets, reroll stones. So if they could reintroduce some way to give us more gold, even in just making Hand of Midas give out more gold, I would really, really appreciate that. Make sure to let DH Games know that you want the gold, where the gold at. And yeah, that's everything I know about the guild settlement. Hopefully you're a little bit wiser from watching this video. Hopefully you're a little more confident, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.